Hey guys, Suraj here from the Middle Class Breaker. In today's video, let's talk and understand about what is the final semester project in Amity Online University and what are the minimum requirements in order to choose your supervisor or a guide. Without much further ado, let's get into the video. So guys, before entering into this particular topic or video, if you're new to my channel or if you are watching my content for the first time, go ahead and click on that subscribe button and also do consider giving me a thumbs up so it motivates me to come up with more videos related to Amity Online or online education in depth. Now, next thing is my first comment is going to be a Telegram channel link, and if someone is interested in joining that particular channel, go ahead and click on that link and it will redirect you to the Telegram link. So any YouTube live streaming or questions related to Amity Online will be answered there. So it would be easy for you to grasp particular information from that channel as well. Most people have been asking me this question about what is a final semester project? Is it really mandatory? Is it compulsory that we have to submit one? For all of y'all, my answer is yes. It is very, very important, without which you will not even get your final convocational certificate or your transcript. Regardless, let's say you have appeared for all your semester examinations and you have performed, you have outperformed, you have got more than 8 CGPA or 9 CGPA, but if you're not submitted your final semester project or your major project, you're going to land up in a problem because Amity Online is not going to release your final convocational certificate. And this is not a regulatory or a compulsion from the university, but this is from UGC. So this guidelines is absolutely from UGC, which is put not just to Amity Online but for various others online universities as well. It is compulsory for the student who gets enrolled in online education has to submit your major project or your final semester project. Now let's understand certain basic requirements, or let's cultivate some basic knowledge of what is a major project. So a major project is nothing but a dissertation or a thesis. Now if you have any of a colleague or your father mother who's a PhD holder or who's pursuing PhD, they will be able to answer you in depth, but I'll give you a very simple answer to it in a layman's term. Your final or major project is nothing but a thesis, but this thesis is not going to be as big as what a PhD student is going to deliver, because he or she will be delivering up maybe about 500 to even 1000 pages. But over here for Amity Online, you just need to have 15,000 words in your final thesis. Now this final thesis can be revolving around any topic but has to be of your specialization. For example, if you're a journalism and mass communication student, you need to take one particular topic from your stream. Let's say that how television impacts on human behavior in a day-to-day life. Now this is one topic. Now you take this topic and you work around it. Start collecting information on how it impacts. Does it impact in a good way? Does it impact in a bad way? Is there any outcomes of it? Has it led to any educational, probably higher rates of educational in villages, or literacy has been increased, or people are addicted more towards tobacco and alcohol because certain things have been showed in television? Is sex abuse become more norm? Is discrimination, because all of this Fair and Lovely, all of these things keeps coming, no, where they show a black female where she applies a certain cream and then she becomes fair. Now has this become more norm? Because this is a little discrimination that is going to happen. So like I said, you can take this topic into various ways. If you want to show it in a good particular manner, you can show it in a good particular manner. If you want to show it in a bad manner, you can show it in a bad manner, and try explain folks on how television is impacting their life on a day-to-day basis, or how marketing has taken up these norms on a very normal way. For example, like a fairness cream, or abusive of women's, or making body shaming jokes. All of these things have become very normal in marketing terms. So you can use all of these things, take a particular topic and explain in depth. Now certain criteria for you to start up with your thesis or final semester is you need to have an introduction, you need to have an abstract. An abstract is nothing but a gist of your whole project. then you need to have review of literature, then you need to follow certain methods and process. This method comes at there are various methods available in a thesis. My humble suggestion to anyone who's starting off new and who's got no knowledge about final dissertation or thesis is start with explanatory or descriptive method, because here you only explain or you write a description of what your topic is. You do not have to do any quantitative or qualitative analysis. Now these things, if I start explaining, the video is going to go more in depth, where I will save this for another video. But in explanatory or descriptive method, you do not have qualitative or quantitative analysis. You're simply explaining on how it impacts on a day-to-day life. For example, I made a project related to how DAW, which is nothing but a digital audio workstation, impacts on the music industry, and I had portrayed it in a very good way, not in a bad way, because there are certain folks who also claims that DAW has taken away a lot of musicians' life, because nowadays people are making music in a piece of system and software. But I wanted to tell it to folks that DAW has given employability to various middle class and lower middle class folks as well, because someone who's from middle class cannot afford Yashraj Studios or any big studios, because per hour of a charge could be anywhere about 2,000 to 3,000 rupees, and this people like me, also me, I cannot afford 2 to 3,000 rupees per hour. But with the help of a system and a DAW, I can come up equal quality of music, what it can be recorded there or what it can be produced there. So my project was based on this. For someone who wants to get a hang of my project, it has already been put out in YouTube, but you need to have the TMCB Educo's YouTube membership in order to see it, where I've put on complete project from page 1 to page 84. The complete project has been put out on the YouTube. But like I said, you need to have a YouTube membership. Now, coming back to the topic, my project had an introduction. I had given a gist about what my project is about in the abstract, then had literature review. Then I had couple of more tabs, for example, like what is the conclusion, what is the content that was there in the particular thing, how it impacted in good way. All of these things were put out. Now this is a very simple project because it's explanatory or descriptive. Here I'm not going and taking survey from another college, or I'm not taking survey from another studio. I'm not interviewing various peoples. I'm not doing any of internet research where I'm taking certain findings and I'm putting it into it. Nothing as such. Simply explaining what is there in my mind and how it is creating impact. Why I was able to pull this out? Because I am a sound engineer by profession. I did my diploma in sound engineering, and all the jargons, the terms, the terminologies, the job roles, how many job roles have been created for the past 5 years, I knew everything about it. So it was my game. So it was very easy for me to come up with this project and explain it. So you figure out what is your game in explanatory or in descriptive. Someone who's wanting to get into journalism and mass communication, there are so many topics. Someone who's getting into BCA, talk about machine learning, talk about artificial intelligence, what artificial intelligence can do to humans, how it is replacing various human force in a bad way or maybe even in a good way. It's a good way for businesses because businesses are reducing cost in order to pay to human and increasing productivity where humans cannot work for 24/7, but AIs or machines can work for 24/7 without any problem. But in a way it is also bad because a lot of job roles have been cut down. Hence our employability has come down drastically in IT sector, and a lot of people are losing jobs. So you can talk about two different things. Choose which one is easy. Is the negative one easy or is the positive one easy? So choose this way and come up with your whole dissertation. Now, a lot of people have also been asking me, what is a guide or a supervisor? Now, a guide or a supervisor is someone who helps you, supports you, supervises you, and guides you throughout your whole major project. From helping you choose a topic in order to help you write your introduction, abstract, up to the very end of content reading. Okay, or conclusions. Now this person has to be a postgraduate. Please keep this in your mind. He or she has to be a postgraduate plus 10 years of experience in the particular topic that you're trying and writing about. Now, for example, you're speaking about artificial intelligence or machine learning in your major project. The person needs to be a postgraduate from MCA or from MSc or needs to be from MTech and needs to have 10 years of experience. Now, this 10 years of experience necessarily does not have to be in artificial intelligence alone. Let's say the person has worked for 5 hours in probably cybersecurity, then 2 hours in probably web development, and last 3 years he's been working in artificial intelligence and machine learning. So his last 3 years have been in that particular field, and overall of his experience is 10 years, where he's predominantly worked only in IT sector. People like this also, you can go ahead and use them as your supervisor. Now, this is a task, guys, because university is not going to provide you the guide or supervisor. University will only give you the opening date of your project submission and an end date. Everything in between, you have to get it done. Maybe you will have live classes regarding how to go about project work, what are the template that you need to use. All the guidelines, everything will be given by the university, but from choosing your topic to finding your guides, it is your responsibility. Now, how did I find my guide? I happened to find my guide through one of my colleague. He was a professor in a college, though he was not a postgraduate or with 10 years experience. He used to go for various other colleges, so he referred a ma'am who helped me, where she was a postgraduate in journalism and mass communication, and that's how I got my whole project. So this way you have to start connecting with various people, which is why I say don't wait till your last semester. Let's say you're in SEM 1, SEM 2, you're probably watching this video. Start your project from SEM 2 onwards. Don't wait till SEM 4 or SEM 5, because that is way late. Because in order to find a guide itself will take you anywhere between 2 to 3 months, because certain folks will charge you. Certain folks may say that, I'm not free, so maybe I can give you only about 1 or 2 hours. Things like this are not going to work out, because it's a project. It's a proper dissertation or a thesis, UG thesis. 1 or 2 hours is literally not going to help you. You at least need minimum 15 to 20 hours with them in order to understand a project and write about it and show it to them. So this way, please make sure you start hunting for your supervisor or guide from SEM 1 or SEM 2 onwards. The sooner you watch this video, the sooner you have a knowledge about your final semester project, start doing it. Don't wait till the very end on how you prepare for your exams, because exams preparations are completely different. That what is there in the material or what is there in the internet, you read it and you go write it. This is completely different, because you're literally creating something on your own. All of these things may or may not be available in any other resources or maybe even on the internet. So you are creating everything line by line. You're going to create with your own experience and your own knowledge. So start it from day one. Probably you're watching this video, start from today finding your supervisor or guide. LinkedIn is a very good hack of finding a supervisor or guides, or probably you can go down to any colleges and try asking their help. If there are any small by colleges nearby your locality, or if some of your colleagues or your fathers or your mothers or your sisters boss or managers would be a postgraduate with 10 years of experience, he or she will have the knowledge in order to help you out with these things. Now, the next important thing is all of this have to be submitted in a PDF. Plus, you will need to submit the supervisor's resume. Now, this is where a lot of people try doing a lot of malpractice, where they will not go find a guide. They will just recreate a resume and try submitting with some XYZ name, some fake phone number, fake experience, and they'll try submitting. In case Amity Online finds it fishy, or some doubts appear in the resume or your project work, they're going to make sure that they're going to give the person a call. At that point of time, if nobody is answering on the other end, then you're going to land in a problem again. So please make sure you find a proper guide and not some fake resume. Once you talk to the guide, please mention that I might need your signature on my dissertation. The second or the third page is the guide's affiliation, where he or she will have to say that I so and so, let's say I'm your guide, I Suraj has guided and provided information or supervised the student for the whole project, and what is the title of the particular project, and then my signature has to come in there. Then I will also need to submit my resume, where I should have 10 years of experience and my education qualification has to be a postgraduate. Now please make sure you follow all of these things in order to submit your project dissertation guide. Now, I think I've covered most of the topics. What are the various methods? What is qualitative, quantitative analysis? Let me know if you guys have any doubts. All of this are easily available on the internet, guys. It really does not matter if I don't explain it. In case you have more doubts regarding this, put it down in the comment section. I will try and explain it in a very simple term. And also let me know if you have further doubts related to project or submission of project, where this Sunday I might not be taking the live session. For someone who's been following me, I've started taking live YouTube sessions on Sunday 8:30. But since this Sunday is going to be the New Year Eve, I will not be able to take a live session. What I'm planning is I'm planning to take it on the coming Tuesday 8:30 p.m. Whichever day probably, but 8:30 is my particular time that I'm going to come live. So you can probably shoot all your questions related to project or project submission on my live YouTube live session, and I will answer you directly. That way we can have more conversation. I'm open to conversations. The only thing is you will be typing and I will be speaking, but that's okay. I'm still open to it. I think I've covered most of it. With that, I will end today's video. Till then, Suraj, you're signing off from TMCB. Peace.